And welcome to this eighth session of the Pause Fast Forward series. Just a quick reminder of where we've been talking about so far. And you're talking about trying to create a bit more thinking time. Put the rocks that the things that are most important to you into the jar first. Maybe even think about taking some of the rocks out, then add the gravel, the stuff that you have to do, and then generate some more thinking time. So hopefully that's working well for you so far. And you've got that bit of thinking time space in capacity in that in your time jar. And the tools we've talked about so far about the first three rocks you need to do is put the first rock is to think, the second rock is to take some action, to mean you really are going to take that action that day. Think through what that's going to be towards any one of your goals. Put that in the sort of the diary first, the jar first, and also make sure there's one of the rocks in there that is a beacon, something that you're really looking forward to doing later in the day. To make sure those three rocks are in, obviously add in the other rocks, the things that are strategically important to you personally, to your team as well, before putting the gravel into the jar. You don't necessarily have to do it in that sort of time order, but the key thing is to make sure you prioritize in that order: thinking time and action beacons and other rocks as well first, and hopefully that's working well for you. And we've also spoken about the importance of thinking in groups as well in the last session. So hopefully that's also working well. Creating that thinking time together on a regular basis with those who you have shared goals with in a creative way. Today we're going to sort of largely think about thinking ahead. So we're going to do an exercise that's kind of adapted from 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, where he gets you to think about your funeral. We're going to do it in a bit of a slightly lighter version of that. I want you to imagine it's your 75th birthday party. So that may be closer or further away, depending on your age. If you're already at 75, maybe think about your 85th birthday party, or etc. But think of a date in the future, 75th birthday party for most people. And I want you to imagine that occasion should be a joyous occasion. There's lots of people you love around you, people you've known throughout your life, in work, personally, family, etc. They're all surrounded around you. Just try and maybe shut your eyes for a second if you want to, and just visualize that occasion, where it might take place, who will be there. Look out into the crowd. Imagine you're kind of looking out at the crowd of people at your 75th birthday. You'll need a bit of pen and paper for this. And what I want you to do is I want you to imagine in a second that one of your sort of family members, a close member of your family, someone who you think would be a good person to sort of say a few words about you, is now coming out of the crowd and is going to make their way up onto maybe to the front of the room, and they're just going to say a few sort of casual words about you, about what you're about, what would define you, things you've achieved in the sort of family context. So just imagine that person's now walking out of the main crowd and making that speech, and you're kind of listening to it. The question is, kind of, what do you hope they will say? And I just want you to jot down, maybe on a sheet of paper, at the top of a sheet of paper, what you hope that person will say about you. Obviously, it should be good, because that's what you'd wish for. And it can be things you did, things that the way you were, your kind of the values you exhibited, what you were like as a person to be around, etc. And the things that you're kind of from a family point of view that you'd hope that they would notice most about you. Maybe just to pause this video while you do so and create that rich picture, just in note form, of what you hope that family member will say about you at that occasion. Okay, so having completed that, I want you to now think of someone else coming out of the crowd and imagine who that person will be. And this is a close friend. Okay, and again, close your eyes. It helps to sort of put yourself in that room. Imagine now a close friend of yours, who that person would be. Will be someone you already know, who you've known maybe for a long period of your life, and you consider to be a good friend, a good person to say a few words about you. They're now coming out of the sort of main crowd, and then they're moving to the front of the room, and they're going to sort of say a few words about you too. So just picture that. Again, pause for a second if you need a bit of time to visualize that happening. And then when you've done so, just again, on maybe a separate sheet of paper, or on the same one below it, I want you to now think about what that close friend, or you hope that close friend, would say about you in terms of what you were like as a friend, to be around. Maybe it might reference things you've done. There might be a bit element of repetition in here, but the things that kind of you feel like sort of represent you the most. And again, just pause the video while you give that some thought. Great. So having completed that, I've got a third person who's going to come out of the room to the front of the room now, and this is someone who's from your community, someone who you may have worked with in a charity, a club, a church of some sort, or just someone around your sort of neighborhood on projects. I mean, someone that you've kind of done stuff on from a sort of community basis with in your lifetime. Just imagine who that person would be. I mean, it probably is someone you already know, but it may be someone in the future who you've got an imaginary person you haven't met yet, but probably is someone you already know. Imagine them coming to the front of the room now and saying a few words about you. And again, on either separate sheet of paper or just underneath what you've already written. I just want you to, in note form again, jot down what you hope that person will say about you in terms of how you are, the values you exhibited, what you achieved, what you brought to the community of that particular area of your life. And again, just pause the video while you put down note form those thoughts. Again, don't worry if there's some repetition. That's a good thing with some of the other speeches you've already created. Good. And finally, a fourth person is now going to come to the front of the room, and this is someone who you've kind of known from a sort of business or job or career point of view. So someone who you've kind of known your business life, whatever work you've been involved with. And just imagine who that person will be. It may be someone who worked for you, you might currently works for you. It might be a boss, it might be a colleague, or it could be someone who's a trusted advisor of you throughout your business career. And just imagine who that person is. I want you to then imagine them coming to the front of the room, and they're going to now again address that group of people you love and talk about you from the sort of your job, your career point of view. Again, what do you hope they will say about you in that speech, just in sort of note form? Again, don't worry about repetition, etc. That's a good thing. What are the sort of highlights of what they will say about you? Okay, and maybe just pause the video and reflect if you want to at this point. Again, just to look at those four speeches and have a look at what they say about you. Where are the elements of repetition? Where are the things that you haven't achieved yet? Where are the kind of the values you hope you'll exhibit more, etc. What are the sort of common values that are exhibited in those four speeches? And this will be kind of relevant to the next session that we look at as well. So it'd be worth just maybe revisiting this exercise before that time. Just maybe a few times, just to make a few notes, notice some differences, maybe put it on one sheet of paper, etc. Those sort of four speeches and what they say about you and what the common sort of values and things you've achieved in your life have been in those speeches. Okay, so that's all I want to cover in this session. So please do take some time to do that before you listen to the next session, if you're catching up via recordings, or you come to the next live session if you're on the live program. So a quick update from the vegetable patch. Those potatoes that we planted and we were chitting in the very first of these sessions, they've now been some of them have been harvested and eaten. They're very nice actually, and there's also some basil there that is been growing. We've been using that in sort of pestos and things like that. The actual main vegetable patch, you can see some of the potatoes that haven't been dug up yet there. There's a few more to go there. Some rhubarb regrowing, parsnips are growing, beetroot, lots of salads and some butternut squash, etc. and celery happening over there. The carrots seem to be doing well, thriving. We'll be pulling a few of those out in the next few weeks. And then this is the sort of the other patch in terms of, you can see some butternut squash plants there, some mange too, some cabbages, radishes, etc. Courgettes in the background. You can actually see the courgettes are beginning to form. There's one there. So yeah, eating those in the next few days. And we've also got some herbs on the way as well. Some coriander and some dill, which are beginning to enjoy that too. So quick update from the vegetable patch, and there'll be more to update you on in a couple of weeks' time. So good luck with that, and I'll see you on the next session. Bye for now.